Hello and good evening. I'm Randy Burnwald, the Director of Alumni Relations at Ferris State University, and I'm excited for tonight's December Alumni Social Hour, Charcuterie Board Building 101. Tonight, we're going to learn tips and tricks for creating your own charcuterie board with Steve and Amy Dorey. For those of you that did some shopping for the program, feel free to experiment and follow along with the Doreys. If you didn't pick up the supplies needed for the presentation, no worries. Simply grab a glass of your favorite beverage and settle in for a fun and educational demonstration. You can always find the recommended shopping list as well as tips and tricks while shopping below the stream under resources. In addition, if you missed any part of the presentation or would like to go back at a later date to review a section, this presentation will be found beginning tomorrow on this website under past events or our Facebook page at Ferris Alumni. The demonstration tonight is roughly 45 minutes. Anytime during the presentation or at the end, you may click the Ask a Question button near the bottom of your screen. We'll leave the last 10 minutes or so to answer these questions. And now a little bit about our special guest this evening. Amy Dorey currently serves as the Hospitality Management Program Director in the College of Business and is herself a 2006 Master of Business Administration graduate from Ferris State University. Steve Dorey is the Culinary Operations Manager and is responsible for the financial operations and menus for all Ferris State dining centers. Steve also holds a 2018 Project Management Certification from the College of Business. Together, the Doreys have spent the majority of their careers in the hospitality industry. Steve has been an executive chef for 23 years at various Michigan fine dining restaurants and conference centers, and Amy teaches courses in hospitality management, dining room management, and special event planning. And with that, I now turn it over to Amy and Steve for their presentation of Charcuterie Board Building 101.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening and welcome. We're thrilled to be here this evening with you and really excited to share not only our passion for hospitality and welcoming guests into our home and providing experience, but to share some expertise in what is truly the art of charcuterie.
Yep. So charcuterie is culinary science or whatever of cured meats, ground form sausages, those sorts of things. It all comes together and it's kind of a general term now for meat, cheese, cracker kind of platter, that sort of thing. So it's a great way to not only have appetizers at a function, but can also be set up quite easily to feed an army in a meal, depending on how you want to do it. We're going to go through all sorts of different cheeses, meats, breads, crackers. We'll talk a little bit, we're not sommeliers, but we might talk a little bit about some wine pairing with some of these cheeses. We'll have all sorts of accoutrements, some different jams, jellies, mustards, pickles, all sorts of different things. So like I said, we do have about an hour. I don't know if the camera's on the board yet, but I guess what when Amy and I were talking about kind of preparing this, what we wanted to showcase, I guess, is what we were trying to grasp, like, how do we do this for if you're doing it for 2 people or 4 or 10 or 20. Now, obviously, refrigeration, it is kind of prep heavy. There is a lot of slicing, dicing if you choose to do that. So the way I've set it up here is each of these tiles are an individual tile. So you can have one tile will end up having like 2 to 3 cheeses on it. It will also have breads and accoutrements, that sort of thing. So that way you can pre-prep them, you can wrap them, store them in your refrigerator. So that way when you're ready to go, you can load them up and then you can put them together on a table. If you have one single platter at home, that's fine too. You can do that as well. So I guess that's kind of the housekeeping. I will be doing a couple of hot components as well. So I have a Brie here, so we'll be doing a Brie with some brandied cherries. So I kind of already done that. And I guess we'll start there first. So because that will take a little bit of time in the oven. So what I did is I reconstituted some dried cherries and a little bit of red wine. You can use brandy, port works really well. those sorts of things. And so I have a sheet of puff pastry here. And what I'm going to do is lay my puff pastry out, kind of build it in reverse. So I'm going to kind of spread out my cherries, put the brie on top. And yes, the kind of papery part is part of the rind. It's part of the kind of curing process, so to speak. So it's a soft cheese. And I'm just going to fold this over. I want to start with this because I want to get it in the oven. So, and it's going to take probably 15, 20 minutes. I mean, you don't really have to cook it. You just want to make sure that puff pastry is nice and browned. And then typically you could rub this with an egg wash. So just an egg yolk. And you mix that up and brush it on top. I'm just going to brush it with a little bit of olive oil. Kind of do the same thing. So once you get that formed, then I'm going to slide this onto my pan.
Now, I'm noticing when you place it on the pan, Steve, that you actually place the place where it's all layered underneath on the bottom.
Correct.
I would have thought that would need to go on top.
Nope. You can do a number of different things. If you have like little leaf cutouts, you can take, you can take a leaf cutout and take some of the corners and stuff and, do little shapes or cut little things, and you can actually build them up. So you have like leaves on top, that sort of thing. I'm just going to leave it in like this. And that's packed tight. So I'm going to go drop this in the oven.
Fantastic.
And I do have some roasted vegetables that are coming out right now too. So I'm going to grab those. And Amy's going to talk to you about kind of signage and stuff, because it gets a little confusing once you take all the wrappers off. You don't really know what you have left. So go ahead, take it away.
Wonderful. So really important that when your guests come in, a lot of the pairing components are difficult to educate or easily explain. And so there's a couple of tips and tricks that you can use. Now, we know that charcuterie is about blending. We want to balance. We want to balance salty with sweet. We want to balance soft or creamy with crunchy. And that's all part of the experience of charcuterie. So as we look at cheeses, it's important that people know what they are, because a block of cheddar that's mild is going to look exactly like a block of cheddar that's very sharp. So a few things you can do, very important. These are homemade. These are white heavyweight paper run through the printer. I just grabbed a fun little font, sat down with the cheeses in front of me, typed them in, and then printed them off. Now, one of the tips that you can use if you have a group that's a little bit new to cheeses is to actually cut the shapes so that they're a communication tool. So a medium or a more mild cheese could just be your standard square. And that would be like your Castello Danish Blue that we have this evening. So, and then you just place that right inside that triangle. Now, anything that's a really sharp flavor, maybe you want to give that something like an abstract or a dynamic look. If you have the time, you can do circles or very specific shapes. But if you're in a rush, just grab some really fun abstract corners. And then that tells someone when they approach that blue cheese, whether that's a more mild blue cheese, such as a Danish Blue, or something that's going to be a lot stronger, such as a Roquefort.
Yep. And, little, I guess, tip that I like to start with. So you want some variation of shapes and sizes, that sort of thing. So the softer cheeses work really well to just be your centerpieces left whole. It kind of helps to identify them as well. They're great for sticking signs in, and they're very easily broken up just with a cheese knife. So I would typically start with those and get those laid out where you want. And then you can start moving into some of the other ones that you want to place around and maybe have to do some cutting and some arranging and stuff. But you primarily kind of want them where they're at. You can break up a couple. Exactly. So break up a couple just to kind of show them your guests kind of the size that you want. Usually the more potent or stronger the cheese, the smaller the piece, depending on how adventurous you are, I guess. These are the roasted vegetables we had come out. So we did some asparagus and cherry tomatoes, and that's just in herb olive oil. And just going to slide those in there just for a little bit of contrast, some different flavors. As Amy had mentioned, you want the sweet, the salty, the crunchy. And then again, too, we discussed wine a little bit. Wine does two things. It actually, and if you're not going to have wine, I would highly recommend having like a lemon water, or you want something acidic that you can be drinking. So even a more potent pomegranate juice or something like that.
The reason for that is to strip the fats.
Correct.
And this was a really important educational tool. I was a front of the house person when I met Steve, the chef, and Steve educated me on that wine is not just something that we can enjoy to relax, but it's also a tool used within the culinary experience. And so by pairing them appropriately, every bite tastes like the first bite. And you get that pungency, that full flavor burst because all of your taste buds have been stripped.
Yeah, as you're eating anything with cream, milk, that heavy fats, they just layer on top of your tongue. So a lot of restaurants figured out if they're serving lemon water with that, you actually get a better flavor. The food tastes better at that restaurant because it keeps stripping away those fats. Everybody is fresh, everybody is new. So it does that. And then it also can enhance cheese. There's actually been studies in France where they're pairing actual grapes to different cheeses and really getting down to what is the best combinations. It's becoming a science of its own. And as I said, I'm not a sommelier, so I can't speak to that level of it. However, there are some old adages when you are pairing. It's good to have at least like one of each, kind of across the board. So if you're going to have a small dinner party, you want to at least have one, like a Riesling or something that's very light and fruity. Sparkling wine. You may want a middle of the road, a Chardonnay, and then not too bold of a red because tannins can actually inhibit or change the flavor of cheeses and can actually give it an off flavor to it. So something like a Pinot Noir or something a little more fruity would be better. Yep, exactly. Merlot.
And we have some of the best in the country in Northern Michigan.
There you go. And who would be that?
Who better than to visit Meredith Lazan, one of Ferris State University's own alumni at Left Foot Charlie in Traverse City.
And what Amy's putting out together now is, so I have some the small mozzarella, and then I also marinated some as well. So the same cheese, but you can do a couple different things with it. So we also do have a cranberry cinnamon goat cheese here in the middle that we just purchased as is, but those reconstituted cherries, you could put those through a food processor and roll your goat cheese in that. That would be easy enough to do. So we're going to just set those there. Next is a Romano, a block of Romano. So a good hard cheese. And if you kind of notice, I do have kind of some soft cheese, or it'll be a little bit of hard cheese here, a semi-hard cheese, a soft cheese. As I said, as we build the tiles, each tile could be its own small charcuterie board for 2 or 4. And then as you go up in number of guests, just keep adding more tiles and variations of cheese.
As we build and as we plan for that, you will find in the resources tab of the webinar, there are some images that we shot earlier today, and they're titled Use What You Have. And I think it's really important, Steve, don't you agree, for people to know that this doesn't have to be an overwhelming venture, that everything you need is within your home, with the exception most likely of the assortment of cheeses and meats you might want. So those images show you items that are primarily found within most homes. So you can use a cutting board, a nice, beautiful bamboo cutting board. You can use a piece of marble or slate. You can use a large service platter. This is this white piece here with our fried capers and our applewood smoked cheddar. This is a white dinner plate. So you can really just use the pieces that you already have within your home. And if you kind of collect anything you think might be representative or might be useful and kind of lay it all out, it allows you to kind of map this system. And then beyond that, these are fantastic little, there we go, these lovely little mini martini glasses. These are just little dessert cups. I think I found these somewhere in Chicago. But any type of small glassware store, places like World Market are really great for that sort of thing. These are simply elevated little just cake displays that can be used to provide some variation in height, which just gives visual appeal to your display. And don't be afraid to just use glassware. These are rocks glasses from within my home. And you're going to see that we're going to use those to hold some of our enhancements. So we really encourage you to look for things that appeal to you, that you find beautiful within your home, that you enjoy using. I also did a little display of some fun little holiday common things. Now, this display is very large, and so our space is limited. However, if we wanted to, and if we wanted to spread out a little bit, it's really fun to consider that you can theme into your experience. And so, for example, anyone that is familiar with the pineapple, and I know I have some of our Ferris pineapples, as we are known to be out in my audience. The pineapple is the international symbol of hospitality. And so this is a really dynamic tool to use as a piece to welcome people into your home. So we can take something like this and we could actually ingrain it into the display, and it could become a part of that display as well. If it's the holidays, I have a great little nutcracker collection, so I could stand my nutcrackers about, and it could just introduce some of the holiday scents or some of the theming into the display as well.
Next thing, as I'm chopping up some of the cheese here, slicing that up, I'm going to remove one of your signs here. It's all right. We also have all the olives.
We have all the olives.
All of the olives.
It's very important that you have all of the olives.
So if you want to go over
Personal
the olives,
favorite.
I'm going to check our Brie.
Absolutely. So the common olive, the olive that most people know, this is the olive that they're going to drop into your martini. That's a manzanilla olive. So very standard, simple. It's the small green olive. It's the one most of us are comfortable with. However, really important to understand that there's an amazing variety of textures and subtleties of flavor when you move into other types. So we also have a really nice Moroccan pitted green olive. This is going to have a really great firm texture to it, a little bit stronger in flavor than your typical manzanilla or what we would call your martini olive. Steve's favorite is the Kalamata.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Steve, tell me, why is it that you love the Kalamata olive so much?
It just kind of has almost kind of a wine flavor unto itself, I guess. It's not overly salty. It just has good body to it. Yeah.
It is, I would say, by far the least of the salty flavors. It's a little bit more rich, and I think that setting it in standard to a wine is a really, really great example. I love the cross and the variety. You can actually have the experience where you're going to blend them, and we're going to kind of show you one of those options. Don't feel like you'll have to keep everything separated fully. So we have this really fun display piece. I think I got this at Home Goods. Mm-hmm. And so are we running breads here, or are we running olive display?
I thought olives.
Olives, fantastic. All the olives. All the olives coming out.
And what I like to do is, as I said earlier, starting with the cheese, and we'll build upon that. Then we'll go to the meats, and we'll get your dishes kind of about where they want to be. Then we fill in last with the breads and the crackers, because that's where you're really going to get coverage, larger surface area. So you're going to get a lot more coverage. So we're going to fill all this in, and that's where it really kind of looks bountiful and plentiful as you kind of fill that in. I do want to say too, cheese is a little bit tricky because if it sits out too long, it does tend to dry out. That's why I like to build the individual tiles and wrap them so you can uncover them. However, you want to make sure that you pull out your boards a good 20 to 30 minutes. You want them to kind of come up to room temperature, because that's where you really get the flavor impact of cheese. It's more flavorful at room temperature. So
as you're moving into that, we do have a question from our audience, and they would like to know, Steve, why are you wearing gloves?
Food safety.
Absolutely. Because
you made me.
When I first met Steve, I was actually studying to enter the field of public health, and I am a registered sanitarian. So I teach the sanitation and safety course on occasion on our campus. And so gloves are really important in preventing what's referred to as bare hand food contact. So even as diligently as the members of this household wash our hands, it's really important to make sure that if you are serving guests, that you refrain from touching any of that food directly. It's just an additional step in protecting those that you care about, and ensuring that there's a minimal cross-contamination and that the food that you serve is safe. Now, as we tie into that, as Steve mentioned, you do want that cheese to reach a warmer temperature prior to having your guests enjoy it. Very important though that we're tracking that time. We want to make sure that any food that should, under normal situations, be refrigerated, that we keep it at room temperature for less than 4 hours. So if your party is 3 hours, that's a great point. So that right as soon as your guests leave, wrap that cheese up, get it right back into the refrigerator.
How about the olives?
The olives,
All the olives.
theory, all the olives in theory should also be refrigerated. However, what we can tell you is that the pH level of any type of pickled or brine food reduces its susceptibility to foodborne illness. So I'm not as worried about the olives. I might let those sit out a few hours extra while I snack on all the olives.
It's not really a member of the olive family, but what I did do too as a little touch is these are capers. I don't know if you can really see these or not. I'll try and show them to you. They're buds of a tree that I'm drawing a blank on, but they eat a lot like olives. They are really salty, and if you put a little bit of oil in a pan and take it off the heat, especially if you have natural gas, I like to do it over the sink, and then dry. So they're pickled, so they're in a brine. So pull them out, roll them around on a paper towel, get them good and dry. Drop a handful in, 1/4 inch of oil, and kind of roll them around. They'll pop like popcorn kernels. You get this kind of puffy, little crunchy, salty goodness thing, and it's to me, I like those better than olives. I will tell you, it is a salty, just a sock in the face. It's wonderful. And you fold that in with popcorn. Oh man, I'll tell you, that is some good eats.
Wonderful. So we have cheese. We have the range from soft, semi-soft, and hard. We've got a nice balance of some that are more mild in flavor, and then those that are really sharp and have a lot to contribute. So we also have some fun pickles. We have all the olives, and then we have some roasted vegetables. What vegetables did we roast?
We did some asparagus, cherry tomatoes, and then we're going to add to that some fruits. So again, so you want some sweets. We have some pretty strong flavors going on here, and so we want something kind of sweet. So obviously grapes go really well with wine and cheese, right? So we'll just kind of lay these in and about. It also adds some color. We're just going to kind of start dropping them in. I want to get that in the way of the dish. Put some over there. Put some green over here too. Some green over here. And I want to save some of these because I do have another board.
We're going to tuck in that last board at the last minute.
Yep. And so I want to save some of those.
Now you've got a lot of different cuts going on here on your cheese.
Yes, you want varied cuts. So some triangular, some of the round ones make a nice quarter because it gives you a nice rounded edge. We've got some larger blocks that we're just going to bust off. You can take a rectangle one and kind of start on a bias cut from the corner. Gives you a really nice cut. Is that one not showing up?
That's what I'm trying to determine.
The Gouda.
We're looking backwards, so I actually want to slide this over a little bit because I want to make certain that you can see how awesome this Gouda looks the way it's been displayed. So now for me, this with a nice set of whole grain crackers, this is dinner. And it would not be uncommon in the Dorey house to see something like this come out.
With prosciutto.
With prosciutto, yes. We do need to layer in some prosciutto or some venison sausage, and then we have something. This is smoked Gouda, which is a little bit of a richer flavor, but it's still a mild cheese, so our kids really enjoy that. And then the artisan-styled cranberry cinnamon goat cheese. So really nice balance, a little bit with some of that smoky. We would grill that asparagus in the summer.
That would be good too.
Yes, and then we'll layer in some crackers, and then we're missing olives, so we need to make sure we get some olives onto this particular board.
Okay, here's an olive. Put it right there. We got an olive on her.
That's my olive.
Okay, another nice feature that we did. So, it's a good time to look at the ingredients as well. We have you can mix in some of the staple cheeses, your Swisses, your cheddars. There's we did not get a pepper cheese, did we? Love a hot pepper cheese, the bacon cheddars, those sorts of things. But what I like to go for, and we'll kind of work our way into the sauces and other accoutrements to really kind of highlight is something like a honey with the comb. So I want to say it was what, $1 more maybe, but it's such an impactful look in addition to a tray when you have a nice hunk of comb in with the honey.
Yes.
And then also like some of our mustards, we selected a couple local ones as well. So we have a Founder's mustard.
Let's see if we can.
And yeah, I don't know if you can see that.
I think we can. But it's Founder's, it's Dirty Bastard Stone Grown Mustard, but it's one of the lines from one of their most popular brews, and a little more expensive to invest in something like this. But I'm the label girl, right? Everything has to look pretty in my world. I'll pay the extra $2 and I'll get something with that fantastic label, because I'm going to do something as simple as lift off my lid and I'm putting it out just like this. I'm going to grab a small knife or a small spoon. I can show you another amazing find. These are available at Meijer or any retail outlet. It's mini tasting forks. And so these are actually, they are disposable. However, you can wash them. I have discovered that my kids like to just play and have dinner with these for fun sometimes. And so they have mini tasting forks and spoons. And so those work really nicely, just a little stir. And I'm not even going to redress it. I'm not going to put it in a bowl, because now it's already labeled and identified and it can go right onto the board.
While you were learning about mustard, I was getting my goat cheese out of the freezer. Really soft cheese. And you probably saw me struggling a little bit cutting some of these, because they do get very soft when they're warm. So it's ideal to cut them. If you're going to slice them just before service, I recommend popping them in the freezer for just a second until you can get them cut. And then get your boards arranged. Then pull them out in the 20 to 30 minutes. It's a lot easier to do this while they're cold. So I did throw this in because you wouldn't probably be able to cut goat cheese if you didn't do it. So it's been in there for, I don't know, you don't want it frozen, but it's been in for nicely chilled. Like
about 20 minutes?
Yeah, like a fine bottle of red wine.
15 minutes, right?
Yeah, 15, 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
And even then, it's still a little crumbly.
And pickles are another personal favorite. Now, this is an interesting point. I was doing some research because I know that when we look at this tray, I know it's always a problem for me. Too many olives and I start puffing up, right? The salt content is something that I know that can be a really serious health concern. And charcuterie has a little bit of a bad rap for that. What we can tell you is that the historical process for charcuterie, which is curing the meats, was very, very salt heavy. However, today there's a lot of options for ways to cure that meat and to provide a preservative environment. So check your contents. It's going to vary meat to meat, but you might find that it's a little more friendly than you expect. Mm-hmm. You can balance that out with some really super fun little gherkins. These are just tiny dill pickles, and so we're going to add those to one of these glasses. And you can do tall ones that allow you the opportunity to get some height, to do dill spears. There's a couple of really fun brands that are here in Michigan now, some pickle production. But I just went with a traditional mini gherkin. I find that when I'm eating and snacking like this, these are fun. It's 2 or 3 bites, and I think it contributes most to the sense of the charcuterie board. Little minis. Mm-hmm. Everything in minis.
So we got a lot of soft on here, not a lot of crunch. So what I'm actually putting together now is a few, we got some various nuts. We got some roasted salted almonds. You could do spiced nuts if you want. So just a little, I've got a board going off to the side over here that'll actually fit into my prep area here. I'm going to slide those on there. So we got some salted almonds.
And I'm washing my hands.
Apricots. Amy is washing her hands, being safe. I could have probably let the goat cheese go another probably 5 or 10 minutes, because as I was cutting it, it did kind of crumble, but that's fine. So we can just, it'll end up being a lot like a blue. We'll just go ahead and let that crumble. And I actually broke it up a little bit more, and we'll put a fork in that, and that'll be a crumbled cheese. Right?
Yes.
No problem.
And I was trying to do it behind the scenes, but we're just going to have a little moment of the real world here. when anytime you change your gloves, the expectation is that you wash those hands. So, but you can never get gloves on when your hands are wet. So I was doing the little birdie flap. But why not just be friends? Okay, so y'all get to see my little birdie flap while I dry my hands so that I can put my gloves back on for the next step. So meats. Oh, now this is Chef Steve's favorite part.
So, new cutting board, clean knife.
Yes, another important piece as you're transitioning between food products, make sure you're either washing, changing gloves, yes. So washing your hands, changing your gloves, and then obtaining some clean utensils.
I would say some of the cured meats that you're going to get can be probably one of the most expensive part of your board. I'm a big fan of the multi-packs. So we got this Beretta, and that has Italian dried salami, a dried coppa, which is kind of another, it's a ham, and then prosciutto as well. So already comes very thinly sliced, and I want to say it's about 8 ounces. And we're just going to kind of fold those. I'm going to let Amy fold these and kind of tuck them in wherever she fit. So, I mean, they're very pliable. They fold really nice. They're a little bit tacky, so they'll stay once you fold them. And I'll let you just kind of tuck those in. We also have a summer sausage. This is a beef summer sausage. You can use really anything you like. Venison. I did not get any out, but
venison, turkey.
Yep. So
if you would like to go with a meatless option, there are meatless sausages that are available,
or more grilled vegetables. That works out well too.
Absolutely.
So those are mostly round. The prosciutto is usually sliced. It's more of an oval. So I'm going to do just some chunk on the summer sausage, and we can use a toothpick or some tongs with that.
This is an experience that may be a little aversive to anyone who's anti their food touching.
True. It does get awfully crowded, but that's what you want. You want that kind of
mix of flavors.
Yeah, that kind of plentiful kind of look to it. I'm gonna slide that forward a little bit if that's all right.
Absolutely.
Tuck that in on the corner.
We can move these grapes over and give you a little bit more space.
I'll set those a little. And I'll slide
I don't know if
another
they can
one.
see that. Oh, I just pulled my sign off the stick.
Now we know what it is.
Not everyone knows what it is. Chef.
These I'm going to slide over here. Part of the tray that's off the side. And
so when you look at these types of meat, explain to me what is the difference between a prosciutto and a dry salami?
It's different. So the salami would be an actual like a charcuterie item because it is blended or ground and then formed into a sausage casing.
And that appears to be pepper. So is salami going to be a little bit more of a peppery, a hotter? Like there's a little more heat in it?
They can be. They're seasoned differently. You can get some that are herbs, some peppered, some plain. And then a prosciutto is like a ham. So it's more of a whole muscle. So that'd be cured, rubbed and cured, and then sliced super thin.
Well, we have all these large pieces. What if we had a small ham? Could we simply bring out the ham on the board and slice it?
Sure.
Be like a chef carve station at a buffet.
Sure. You want a couple of larger, like I said, block pieces, of really, that kind of shows off what it is. Another great tip is to, hit your deli at your local deli. That's what we did here. So we actually picked up a buffalo chicken and a Black Forest ham, and you can actually then really just kind of, it's another way to kind of cut back on some of the expensive pieces.
I broke it. This one's broken. This is why I don't touch food.
That'll be fine.
Can I fix it?
Yeah.
I'll set it aside.
Yeah, set it aside for me. That's just fixed. So hitting your deli and then ordering just what you need. So a couple 4 ounces or 6 ounces, depending on how many people. I'm doing a kind of an extra fold on the ham. So it's kind of more of a triangle because, again, a different look. So, and you just want to tuck them in, fill up that area. Lots of folds. So the nice thing about your meats is you can do folds like, the quarter fold, and that looks, nice and full and like a lot, there's a lot more there than it looks like a lot more than is actually.
Okay,
there.
Chef, I need your, I'm literally like, it's falling apart and I don't know what to do with it.
Well, you can do the same thing. So if this happens, just give it a bunch, give it a twist, and you can just curl it up.
I can make flowers.
Exactly. And then you just
20
kind of tuck
years
it
and
in
I'm
here.
still
There.
learning.
Look at that. All right. Now I'm gonna be like Bob Ross here. Put a nice little flower right here. No,
you just did Bob Ross.
I know.
Our son is 11 and he referenced Bob Ross on the way to school this morning. I think you should know that I haven't had a chance to tell you that yet.
Okay, we're doing too much room with meat.
Okay.
So that's off meat. And okay, we gotta put some chicken on here though, because I need a buffalo chicken sandwich.
Yes.
We've got little toast that look like little bread slices. They're awesome. Fun with crackers and bread coming up next. If we have a commercial break, oh, this is gonna fight me.
Here, why don't I work on that and you can move to the next thing? Because
Okay.
I think I can get
get
this.
Bread.
I know my skills and where I can jump in. And I think folding the buffalo chicken for you is one of them.
So we have a myriad of crackers. I think French bread is a staple. I think you have to have French bread.
Yes, you do.
So what I like to do too is do some slices. Some you can grill. You can rub them with olive oil and put them in with the vegetables that we're in for about 10 to 12 minutes at 400. You can rub these with olive oil and hit them with a little garlic, salt, and herbs, and make crostini and a little toast, and drop those in as well. That comes out nice. Leave it whole. So
I have to tell you, for the person who burns water, and I know it's very contrary. I'm in hospitality, but I can't cook. I set a great table, and I can make anything look pretty. But I will tell you, this is one of the more friendly experiences for me. I feel like I kind of can't mess this up because now I'm turning buffalo chicken shreds into little flowers. So this is really friendly for anyone to set up.
It is.
That makes me happy.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, you're slicing, but it's relatively easy. And we have that
is the pecan biscuit.
The pecan biscuit.
So what is a biscuit versus a cracker?
Thicker. Usually has a little bit of sweetness to it, so it might have like a honey to it or brown sugar. We're gonna go over here with these, and those stand out there. And then these were an awesome find. So this is a sesame seed fig. So there's actually figs kind of toasted in with these, and I think that will end up going great.
Oh, no.
With, we went losing the camera real quick.
No, snooze.
So
it's okay. We have 8 minutes and 42 seconds on our board, which I think is going to work out perfectly. Brandy, about 8 more minutes on that board and we're good, correct? We have a forced restart coming on one of our technological partners here.
You guys are doing great. So continue
these are little
on.
toasts.
Perfect.
I don't know if you can see that or not, but so these are the mini toasts. Aren't those awesome? And so those are going to be my buffalo chicken sandwich later. They look like a little loaf of bread. Those are great. Tuck some in there. So we're just filling in kind of all the empty spaces because again, I know you can use some really cool trays, but kind of the goal is to not see the tray. I want it to cover it all up and really fill it in.
And so I can put these awesome fig crackers that I'm so excited about anywhere, correct?
Yes.
They don't have to just be in one spot on one board.
Correct.
I think we need pretty there. Oh, we way need pretty over here. We need bread pretty here.
So another little trick, if you want, you can use French bread. So if you cut a piece about probably 4 inches or so like this, and you take a spoon and you can hollow out the middle. And I do this with salads as well. So you can do a chicken salad, stuff like that, but that's not the topic. Stick to the charcuterie. But you can make a vessel out of this, and that can then go in the middle of a tray, and you can actually put mustard in it, say. So a nice little way to use, that way you can use the whole loaf, right? So we don't have a lot of waste. And really the ends are what's nice to have just uncut because they're kind of crusty, especially if they kind of dry out. And again, leaving these large pieces here that are whole, as long as you're within your 4-hour time frame, it's easy enough. This outside edge might get a little dry, but you can trim that off. Just cut a 1/4 inch off of that, wrap that piece back up, and you're not wasting any cheese as well. So then they're just going to go ahead and eat the ones that are already sliced. And then the whole chunks, feel free to wrap up, put it back in the refrigerator, and enjoy it at a later time.
And we spoke a little about not feeling like you need to make massive investments. Every once in a while I laugh because for having a chef, for a husband, we have very few unique types of tools in our kitchen. And so we do not even own a cheese knife of all things. However, we have a great little assortment of little butter spreaders and cheese knives. And so we could insert those in amongst, and so that if we wanted easy access so that someone doesn't feel like, oh, well, I shouldn't ask the host or the hostess, we want to make sure all the tools and supplies that someone might need to enjoy their experience that evening are at the ready. Herbs.
Well, it just got me thinking. I should have cut a guitar cord. That would have been a great cheese knife. Cut cheese. I know. So we have fresh herbs. The same ones. So it's rosemary, thyme, sage, parsley. They're on the vegetables. They're also on the mozzarella, marinated ones. And again, it's a great way to add aroma. There's already a lot of aroma coming off the cheeses, but just to pair in some of the herbs as well. And we're just going to kind of lay those across and tuck those in. Again, just kind of fill in those spots. There's a little bit of rosemary, a couple sprigs of thyme, and just tuck those in somewhere. And the Brie is out and cooling.
So we should add that. Here. And you mentioned brandied cherries. Where do we get brandied cherries?
I made them.
How do you make them?
I'm a chef. So I made them. Use about probably 2-to-1 ratio, 2-to-1 cherries to 1 part brandy. Warm your brandy, bring it up to a boil, put your dried cherries in there, or your apricots, or whatever you're gonna, any dried fruit.
Peaches, any dried fruit.
And just pull them off the heat and let them steep for 5 to 7 minutes or so. They'll soften up, and then you're done. You have reconstituted. And if you're going to store them for a while, they're great. You can just put them off the side in a jar. And the longer you let them sit, the more flavor they'll pick up.
Okay. And then these are wonderful dried California Mission figs. And they just make these great little additions. We can tuck those in and amongst the food. They give a nice little appearance for texture. I'm going to pop a couple here. And
next to the Brie.
A wonderful addition to the charcuterie experience.
I hope you're hungry. I haven't eaten since Tuesday. No, I'm just kidding. So our Brie is done. And what that will look like, I'll just cut this. And you can cut a wedge. You can wrap half of it if you want to do that and leave half of it kind of whole. And I'm going to spin that, and this is going to be one that is kind of the warm, ooey gooey. You can add a little herb in here if you want, and then maybe take a knife and slide it in underneath, or a fork.
Illustrate that texture.
That kind of thing. So, yep. So I'll just pull some out. So nice and soft. You got the cherries in there. The bread's already there because you got the puff pastry. So that's that.
Yeah, you're funny. You just opened a Brie in front of me with cherries and bread, and you think that I'm sorry. I'm trying really hard not to do this. However, it's Brie. It has to happen.
What are we doing on time?
We have about 5 minutes.
Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and start wrapping this up. Great breadsticks. Again, find a unique vessel. You can use the glass if you want to slide that in. And then we have the last piece, the board coming in that I had off to the side that I was kind of, actually, you know what? I'm going to slide that in there.
Any parent who's ever received a million pinch pots
There you go.
that are the favorite art project of K through 6. Now we have this great way to elevate our display. You want it right over here?
Yeah, put some height in back. There you go.
There we are.
So, I think we pretty much have everything here. Plus, I'm getting really hungry. We have an empty dish here, though.
We do have an empty dish. What are we missing?
We have an empty dish.
What are we missing? We're missing nuts. We're missing pecans.
Yep.
That's what we're missing. We're missing pecans. And then that was going to be partnered with a couple more of those figs.
Dried cherries.
Want dried cherries?
Yep.
Wonderful. Haha, perfect. Now, if you're wondering how many vessels you should have, the simple reality is the only thing that has to go into a vessel is something that's going to maybe leak. So your olives and your pickles.
Yep.
So the cherries can go right on the board. The nuts can go right on the board. So can the grilled vegetables. But there's mobility in this, and we like that.
You get creative. You could take, that's a great thing, like French bread. I love French bread, not only to eat, clearly. You can tell. But you can, kind of, call it Subway cut, I guess, the kind of V cut down it and hollow that out. So now you have a longer vessel as well. Yes. You can basically create this dish right here out of a loaf of French bread and do your olive blends in there, your grilled vegetables in there.
Slice off a piece, drop on the meat, drop on the cheese, and it's an instant sandwich. So when we talk about this transforming from, across that world of appetizers to a meal, it really serves well, especially if you don't know what your guest is going to have done. So we have officially lost our charcuterie camera, but that's okay. Because we had everything up. So the timing is fantastic.
So we got a picture of it.
And the only other thing we wanted to share, I'm going to flip on the overhead light. Steve, can you try and see if we can navigate this camera?
I will take.
I am an advocate for sweets and for a really great late experience drink. And so we're going to add a little bit of lighting. We were trying to watch glares. This is not a new concept, the hot cocoa bar. We'll unplug here. There we go. So the hot cocoa bar is not new. This isn't anything new that's new to our world, right? So but what I want you to understand is this easily transitions into the same concept. Charcuterie isn't just meats and cheeses anymore. We can do a taco tray with charcuterie. It's taking anything that has options and alternatives for substances and putting them together in a collective. So this is a really, really fun thing that's going on right now, which is the hot cocoa flight. And so I've got lots of additions and things that go on. But if you have mini espresso mugs or an assortment of really fun mugs, you can do a great little display. And so this is actually a milk chocolate with Bailey's Original Irish Cream. And then we have a white chocolate cocoa, and that's got a Stoli vanilla in it. And then there's a dark chocolate, and it's got a Ramashada peppermint bark. So this is a nice little, mini cocoa experience, and you can kind of do tasting flights or even just offer the option to all of your guests as to which cocoa experience they would like. And so just a really fun way to introduce festive. One thing I will tell you, if you have children in the house, find a quick way to identify an alcoholic drink from a non-alcoholic, and a really fun one. If you notice on the side of this dark chocolate Ramashada drink, I hooked the peppermint candy cane. So if you wanted something that was a grab and go for your guests, that's a really fun way. So when we see the candy cane, pick one way or the other. For me, that would be the alcoholic indicator. And so that just tells me that that piece has some alcohol in it, and I want to make sure that no little hands get on it. All right.
Dibs on the Ramashada.
So I think that we are ready to enjoy a charcuterie board and have some hot cocoa with some Ramashada and vanilla Stoli. We hope you enjoyed the evening and that you learned a little bit about the process of building a board.
You guys are amazing. I cannot wait to try some of these tips or tricks. But we have a lot of questions that came in. So if we can take some time real quick and go through some of these, that would be great. First of all, we have a couple people have asked about non-alcoholic drinkers. So if they're serving their charcuterie board to non-wine drinkers, what cocktail or what do you recommend to pair?
There's a lot of great non-alcoholic, what we would call mocktail. I think one of the things that you can do to ease your guests' comfort is to make them not feel like they're standing out. Sometimes it's a little uncomfortable. I remember my first few months of being pregnant. I didn't really want to discuss it. So being able to provide complimentary glassware and fun mocktail is a really great way to help them feel like a part of the group. And the important piece is going to be to have it be some form of an acidic piece. So adding a lemon or a pomegranate juice or something with lime, a lime-based item.
Some of those non-alcoholic, like I don't call it a seltzer, but the flavored waters, the sparkling waters. I can't remember what they're called. A couple of brands.
There's multiple brands now of those sparkling waters. And a quick search will give you mocktails.
Okay. What is the biggest charcuterie board don't?
I guess I would say go. I don't want to say go big or go home, but you want it to be full. So you can. It can be pickled bologna and cheddar cheese and
Colby
cheese and some French bread. You want it to be plentiful, bountiful, and appealing. So a lot of color, variety of things.
And I think consistency and type. So if you are a mild cheese eater, you want some milds, but you also want some really stronger flavors. So getting that balance of subtle flavor and strong flavor, and then softer, creamy, and crunchy. I think that's really the important piece, is not to drop any of those four components.
Yeah, kind of, know the, I don't want to say your customer base, but, know the place you're going, the people that are going to be eating at, So, you can take a board, Southwest, you can take it, Moroccan, Mediterranean, Italian, Germanic, with some of the different, do an Asian one, get some kimchi in there and some other things. So you can really take it a lot of different ways. You just want to kind of fit it to the crowd.
Is there anything that should never touch or be on the same charcuterie board?
Acids and cheeses. So if you have the tomatoes, those are acidic. I want those in a vessel. Your olives, as Amy stated, you want those in a vessel. You don't want them touching cheeses, especially your soft cheeses, because they will bleed and the acid will start breaking them down. So if you've ever made a sandwich and you put your tomato next to your cheese, it's got about a 10-second lifespan before that tomato just destroys that slice of cheese. So make sure you put your lettuce in between there as a little buffer.
All right, good. Here's another one. Based on the popularity of charcuterie, it seems very common these platters are built on one serving oversized board or tray. Is there a reason you decided to break them up into separate tiles? Was it for better pairing experience?
No, it's more for so like I did it kind of in the guise of you could build this, then wrap it with plastic wrap, and then put it in the refrigerator. It's hard to get a huge tray in a refrigerator. If you have a double door, then yeah, you could build the whole thing out. But this way, it just more componentized. So if you're looking at, again, if we had the overhead camera, you could take just two of these rectangle tiles and you're looking at about a 6 to 8 or so. I would say this is, a dinner. I know we kind of said, dinner for 6 to 8, but I love cheese and cured meats.
He can't help himself.
And don't ever go shopping when you're hungry. Okay.
At 5:30.
5:30 last night. We're out at 2-3 stores, and it was, oh my God, this looks awesome. We gotta have some of that.
It was bad.
That was another question. Where do you find pecan biscuits and some of these other specialty foods?
Everything on our tray was found Aldi and Meyer. So check for the specialty cheese display. They're going to have a great assortment of crackers and biscuits stored above that in that specialty cheese section. And then this time of year, there's going to be additional. We went into Aldi's. The end cap, it literally has a big banner that says all your charcuterie needs. And so the international aisle as well is a really important place. World Foods year round, if you have a World Foods near you, is going to be a fantastic resource to get really great olives and some of these really exciting meats.
And, you know, if you have a butcher shop or, you know, those sorts of things, a lot of times we'll carry those items as well.
Got it. What do you have displayed on the little pedestal on your board? What kind, is that a cheese?
Yes.
Yep. It's herb boursin. Yep.
It's like an herb.
Okay.
Cheese. So very soft, very fluid, very smooth, creamy.
Garlicky.
Okay. And another question, when you do your crumbled cheese, you do it directly on the board or do you do it in a container?
Nope. Just kind of break it up on the board and just kind of let it fall again. You kind of want it to look natural. You don't want to make it, you know, you don't want it to look too processed. That's when I started to slice that goat cheese. The outside was fine, but as soon as I hit that middle, it started splitting and crumbling.
But it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, so it just went, well, you can't see it now, but so it just kind of just let, you know, I just took the knife and I kind of broke it up and now it's just a kind of a pile of goat cheese. Yumminess, goat cheese.
What about variations of cheese or other things that are most kid friendly? So if somebody's doing a board just for the kids, what do you recommend?
This is such a great experience for kids. Our kids have some limitations when they're young. I think they're very curious. As they get older and they develop those sensitive taste buds, we know that children pull back a little. So if you've ever seen kids revert and you think they're doing this great diversity of foods and then all of a sudden they're back to mac and cheese and chicken nuggets, there's some variations in their taste experience as they age. And so really you can do this with any of those. So really great, like a mild cheddar is a nice one. And you can use any kind of a cream cheese. They've got great flavored cream cheeses. And so you can get those in the tub and just kind of whip them with a mixer and kind of fluff them up. And then you can put that into a bowl that can be spread onto breads. French bread is fantastic with kids. So are any kind of club cracker. Really fun even to toss, you know, goldfish, little shapes on there that they can put on as well.
The baby cheeses do well. Baby Swiss, Baby Bell. String cheese, you know, you can peel that back and make kind of like a hydra cook kind of a thing and use those as displays. And you know, it's just the typical ones that they would normally eat. It's just arranged, you know, so that it's appealing to the eye.
Good. Steve, when you put that brie in the oven, what temperature did you set the oven?
It was 425.
425.
The I did at 400, and then I had kicked it up for the brie. It was in for probably about 15, 20 minutes. A lot of it depends on how cold it was and then how big it is too. So, yeah, around 20 minutes.
Any good options for the ooey gooey texture for folks with celiacs?
Probably.
We got a stumper.
No, it's.
You might.
I'm just trying to think. I don't know if they have like a gluten-free wrap.
They do.
I mean that would probably work as well.
Yes.
You know, we're talking about the brie, right?
No,
like,
I think
she was in general.
Yep.
Oh.
Just to get the creamy introduced into the board.
Okay. Celiac, yeah. You know, if you don't want the breads in there and those sorts of things, you know, vegetable slices or you know, use squashes and cucumbers and those sorts of things. You know, you can introduce that in there, so you're building it with that as opposed to breads and that sort of thing. And that works well. You can.
Any cheeses to avoid for celiac? We'd have to research on that.
Yeah,
but if we can connect with that particular guest, I'm curious too. I want to do a little research because I think that's a really important one. Because if you do have someone who comes that needs gluten-free options, you know, there's so many alternatives from the perspectives of crackers and you know, introducing vegetables and other ways to partner foods.
Yeah,
but
I think you just want to be careful with the bread because the cheese isn't really going to have gluten in it. Yeah, you're really gonna want to be careful with things touching everything else, obviously. So I would, you probably want to let your guests know if you are visiting, to have maybe some cheese off to the side, the nuts and that sort of thing. Maybe make sure one didn't actually touch, any kind of bread. But
another good reason to compartmentalize these is you could have some, if you have some food allergies going, that are kept a little separate, maybe just off to the side, and then run some of the core in between those boards to tighten the experience.
I also have a question then about vegans and vegetarians for their charcuterie boards. So similar.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, there's the vegan cheeses and there's the nutritional yeast. You can make some nice spreads, maybe bring in some hummuses. That's another one. Yeah, you can take in with taking a more Mediterranean, or I've seen some of those where it's more based on grilled vegetables. Some of the spreads that way. So
tapenades and hummus.
Tapenades and hummuses and that sort of thing.
If you want something that's feeling like a protein that's a little bit more of the chewy to substitute for the meat, jackfruit would be a great option. Yep. You can flavor that or marinate it and use that kind of as toppers.
Almost a pate. You can grind it right down and mix it up and blend it almost like a pate. So.
What about nuts in your charcuterie board? How do you display the nuts? Do you sprinkle them all over? Do you keep them in a container?
You can do piles right on the board. It is something where I prefer to put them in vessels because of nut allergies. That's one of the top allergies that we experience. So I tend to put those in vessels just so we know they're contained. We know right where they're at. If there is someone who we didn't know, and so we didn't avoid them altogether, they can simply kind of stay away from maybe the adjoining items on that piece and stick to the other side of the board. But if everybody's safe with nuts, yes, they can be piled at random. Fill in your holes.
Perfect. I think that is all of our questions, other than the fact several people want to know if that's your dinner tonight and if you're accepting house guests. Come over and polish that off.
Please come over. Yeah. And bring wine. Bring any.
Awesome. Thanks again, Amy and Steve.
Thank you so much. It was so much fun. Enjoy.
I appreciate you both allowing us to come into your kitchen and showing us the ins and outs of creating the perfect cheese board. It's been a wonderful experience. Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
As a reminder to all of you, if you missed any part of the presentation or would like to go back and review a section, this demonstration will be found beginning tomorrow on this website under past events, or our future page, or our Facebook page, at Ferris Alumni. Also, we would love to see your creation. So feel free to share a picture of your board and put it on our Facebook site. We'd love to wrap up and see some of those boards you created tonight. If you would like to join us next month for our Alumni Social Hour, then check out our registration page for the details on our winter paint and sip. That presentation Thursday, January 28th at 7 p.m., brought to you by our very own Carrie Weiss. Carrie received her Master of Fine Arts from Kendall College of Art and Design in 2007, and also her Bachelor of Integrative Studies from Ferris State in 2003. More information on the paint and sip can be found on our website at ferris.edu/alumni. Thanks again, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the presentation tonight and have a great evening.